I'm going to share a screen, and then we are going to watch a video on how you can pick a coordinates. Okay, how you can use your smartphone, your tablet, or your phone, any devices that you use, as far as it has a GPS. Okay, and then you know that all the smartphone actually have a GPS. So we are going to see how we can be able to use this particular mobile phone that we have to actually pick a coordinates. You have to listen to the video so carefully because the video is actually very noisy, because one of the reasons is that I cannot pick a coordinate in my office, right? You cannot be able to pick coordinates in our office. It has to be outside. And you know where the location of my office is actually a very busy environment. So I actually need to come outside and pick those coordinates to do the video. So you have to take your time and listen to the video carefully. And possibly if you have your phone with you, you can follow every bit of the step so that you can see how it is. Possibly you might not be able to pick a correct coordinate now because you are inside also. But if you want to pick a coordinate and you want to pick a coordinate, make sure you stay in an open place, possibly outside, okay? So that you can be able to access the satellite. So I'll be sharing screen now.
Okay, good day guys. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can pick coordinates using your phone. Okay, so if you have an Android phone or a smartphone that you want to use to pick your coordinates, so it's either you have a Google Map or any kind of map service app that you have in your phone. But in this training, we are going to use the Google Map. Before I click on my Google Map, I'll make sure that my location is on. From the drop down here, you see that my location is on here. So make sure you turn on your location. Okay, so now if my location is on, what I'll do now, I'll open my Google Map. Okay, so you see this is my Google Map and then your location is on. So what you do is that if it not take you to the location where you are automatic, just click on this button here. Okay, just touch the button, it will take you to the place. So you are seeing this dot here, that is your location. So you can now zoom, to the place, okay, and then see where you are. Now to see more details of it, because this is a street view, okay, so you click on this small arrow icon here, you click, and then you see we have default, which is the one that is showing. We have satellite, we have terrain, we have traffic. So now by this particular one now will now form the satellite image so that we'll see, to be sure that we are in the exact location, so that you see the image from the top. So you see, this is where I am now. Okay, this is where I am presently. I'm in this particular plaza. You make sure that when you are picking a coordinate, for accuracy purpose, you have to be in an open place, okay, for it to access the satellite. Okay, so now you see that the cause of the point here is actually at that point. So what do? You zoom to the place, to the point that you want to pick. So let's assume I want to pick point at the edge of this particular building here. So in your case now, let's assume you want to pick at the edge of the particular plot of land or a particular building. I can just go there now. Forget about the point where the thing is showing. The thing is showing here, but it's showing at this point. But I want to pick point here. Okay, the edge of this building. So what do I need to do? I will come here and then I'll press. You understand? You press it with your hand. As far as you are using your screen, you press it with your hand and hold it down. Press and hold it for some minutes. You see that it will display this number up. You seeing it? It display this number. So this is the coordinate reference number of this particular point that you pick. So what you need to do is either you copy it, use a biro and copy it, or you can screenshot it. You understand? Depending on how you do your screenshot in your phone. So I can just screenshot this particular picture so that I have this number, so that when you go back to your office or anywhere, you can make use of this coordinate. Okay, so this is the simple way of how you can pick the coordinate.
Okay, thank you very much for watching. The video is actually very noisy, but it's because I actually pick it in a very noisy environment because I have to pick it outside. Okay, so we'll continue. So I hope you actually get something. So if you have your phone, you repeat the same thing. You can be able to pick a coordinate. It's a very simple step. Okay, we have what we call geographic coordinates, and then we have projected coordinates. Now the geographic coordinate now, which is WGS, they call it WGS, the short form is WGS, is the world coordinates. So if you are producing any map, or if you are producing any data, or if you want to load any coordinates, as far as is maybe you are in Nigeria and then you want to load a coordinate somewhere else, maybe
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm hearing you, sir.
Hello, sir.
I'm hearing you.
I think the patient that is not hearing you well, I'm equally facing the same problem here. In fact, I'm using two computers. So I think I suggest he can use his handset.
Okay.
He can use that, at least for this lesson now, he can use his handset.
Okay, with the handset, you can hear me well, right?
Well, no, I'm using another computer. In fact, the first computer I used, I'm facing the same problem.
Okay.
But I switched on to another computer that is like this. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay.
So maybe he's having the same problem with me.
Yes.
So, but
possibly.
I think he can use his handset.
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Dolapo, if you are still not hearing me, I think it's going to.
I'm hearing. It's okay. I'm hearing perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So we are talking about coordinates. So I said that we have a world coordinate system. Now, what you mean is that now, if you are doing any work, if you are picking a point, possibly you are in Nigeria and then you want to actually pick information of one particular property or one particular site elsewhere that is not in Nigeria. In that case, now you have to use a world coordinate system. Okay, we're going to explain that when we start the practical. Okay, and then if you are within Nigeria, now you see that the world is spheric in nature, maybe from our geography. The world is spheric in nature. Okay, now that is to say it's a form of cycle. Now you discover that you cannot be able to actually project or draw a grid line accurately with a cycle. When something is a cycle, if you are drawing a grid line, discover that it possibly to be trying to go around, so you cannot be able to see everything. Possibly now it will be like, okay, a 3D stuff. But now when we are talking about coordinate, it's 2 points meeting, so it has to be 2D. Okay, we are not talking about meeting 3 points, we are talking about meeting 2 points from the movement of the X meet with the movement of the Y, and then it has a number attached to it. So that particular point is the coordinate. So now you discover that the word or the geographer find it so difficult to actually do those grids and then get more accurate when it comes to other locations in terms of getting accuracy of your points. Because especially in military, your coordinate has to be very, very accurate. Okay, because maybe in terms of construction, we can say, okay, when you pick a point, it might fall, especially when you're using a handheld GPS, it might fall possibly minus maybe -1 meter, -2 meter, or -3 meter. And then based on the fact that you know the location, you can actually shift your points to fall. Okay, but in terms of maybe a military function where they are targeting a point in terms of security stuff, in that point you cannot be able to use a device that cannot give you an accurate value. Okay, so now for that to be easily achieved, to bring those details and the information of that place close, we now project it. That is how we now have projected coordinates system. Okay, like now in Kaduna, we have what we call UTME MENA 32. Okay, now the MENA 32, that is MENA, that is UTME MENA, that is in Niger State, there is a reference point, which is now be dragged. Like, for example, now what I mean, I always use as an example in explaining reference point is that maybe you are doing leveling. Let's assume you are doing leveling in construction, so I want to do backfilling. Now you mark one particular place as your reference, so that maybe you are using a leveling instrument. Now you are transferring that particular level that you mark as your benchmark. You are transferring it to the other side. So now that is to say you are taking reference from that your first point that you mark. So now what happens now is that the world coordinate system, that is the WGS now, as the geographer trying to establish that Minadatum, okay, as the geographer trying to establish that Minadatum, they have to drag their points, possibly drag a particular value from the world coordinate system and then bring it to that Minadatum, that is Niger State, and then establish a reference point for the control point, okay? So that every other value that the GPS or the satellite is generating the value from, or every other devices, it will now pick reference from that. So now, at that point now, if you are working within Nigeria, possibly, like here in Kaduna, as I make reference, we use Mina 32, UTME Mina 32. Possibly in Lagos, because I clearly know that because I did the work recently in Lagos, they are using Mina 31, okay? So you can possibly search more about it online and know your locations and then know which particular projected coordinate system that actually work for you. But that notwithstanding, even you don't know the one that work your locations, we are using the world coordinate system, which is the WGS, because we are dealing with actually our focus more are not in terms of accuracy of the locations, because it's just for the point to take us to the site. Okay, we are not saying this plot of land belongs to this person, like possibly the surveyors carry out their heavy instrument, they carry GPS, differential GPS, and many other instruments. So as a construction professional, you must not actually acquire those devices before you can actually carry out your GIS function. Possibly you are on your own, you are not actually with any organization, you're actually doing your own consultancy services or construction services, and then you have a site somewhere and you need to get information about it. You don't need to go and buy a heavy instrument to pick a point. Okay, the main idea is for you to have access to know the location, and then the client have actually give you the overview of how the place look like, possibly give you a screenshot as we just did now, give you a screenshot of the place, and then you can clearly demarcate where your land or your site is being located, so that you can now go ahead with your planning, taking measurement of the site. And then one of the important things, one of the good things about using this technology is that as far as you take the measurement with the system, it is giving you the accurate measurement on ground. Okay, that is one of the reasons why, because possibly if you just pass, let's assume you pass a place and then you snap it normally with your camera, you cannot bring it to your system and then you snap it. I mean, you measure it and it give you accurate measurement, like the exact measurement it is on the ground. You understand? The reason because there's no location, there's no geolocation attached. There's no georeference, there's no coordinate attached to it. But those satellite image or those satellite data that we have has a location attached to it. So every point, every building, every structure is being located in the right position on Earth. They call it georeferencing. Okay, that's all it georeferencing. Every object or every property is being geolocated. Okay, so now that is one of the great advantage you are going to have, because you don't necessarily need to go to the site or travel from Lagos to Abuja just for you to pick a boundary. Okay, so this is one of the important of using coordinate reference system. And then at the same time, now in coordinate reference system, we have what we call fly projection. Fly, F-L-Y, okay, on fly projection. Now what it means is that that is the ability for you to actually use a WGS. That is the word, when I say WGS now, is the world coordinate system. Anywhere you are in the world, you can actually use it just that the level of accuracy is not as high as the projected coordinate system. Okay, so you now the on-flight projection now will actually help you to overlay the WGS data and the projected coordinate data. Possibly if you pick a point and mistakenly you are in WGS, and then when you are loading into the GIS environment, it happens that you are using a word, you are using a projected coordinate, right? That's a different coordinate reference system. But if you are on a flight projection, it will still fall at the right location. So when you are using those software now, it is more preferable that you use on flight projections. Okay, so this is a good example of how you can use a projected coordinate system. Okay, so having explained that, I will go straight to our Google Earth, which is our next item, how we can actually use Google Earth. We are going to exploit Google Earth. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't get the flight projection.
Okay, sir.
Clearly.
Yes, sir. Flight projection.
Why is it used?
Yes, sir.
It's not as accurate as
yes, flight projection. Yes, sir. I'm hearing you, sir. Flight projection. Are you hearing me? Flight projection is ability.
I'm hearing you, sir.
Okay, sir. Now, what the flight projection actually help you to do is that possibly in terms of using the software now, I'm going to show you that when we start using the QGIS, you have your handheld GPS or any system any device that you use to pick your coordinate. And then you pick the coordinate. When you are picking that coordinate, you pick it in WGS. Then when you are loading the coordinates now the system that you are using to load the coordinate, now the system is in projected coordinate, which is UTME 32, possibly MENA 32. I'm making reference to Cardinal. So possibly MENA 32. So now if you pick a coordinate with WGS, if it not put your software or that environment that you are using on flight projection, it will not fall at that location. Okay, but when you put it on flight projection now, your software on flight projection, you can now see that even when there are different coordinate reference system, but it will still fall at the right location. Okay, that is a clear explanation of that. So it will be explained more if you start using the QGIS. Okay, I hope that answer your question, sir.